Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Steph, it's Kiva and I reporting live from Brussels. You can see behind us, we have a really cool room. It's like the corner unit, so there's kind of like windows all around. And it's just a cool shape and it's a good size. We have 2 twin beds there. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's an hour time difference, but yeah, that's not really anything much. We were up at 3:30, just past, 3:45 in the morning. And our flight took off at 6:50. We were to the airport really early. We flew out of Terminal 2, which is generally less busy anyway. So we didn't need to be there as early as we were, but I am chronically too early as it is. So by the time we got into the city, because once we obviously arrived at the Brussels, I think it's the Brussels airport, we had to get the train, which was like a little bit difficult, but we figured it out. I don't know if I'd say it was difficult, but we were confused definitely for a little bit. Sometimes it's kind of hard, like being in a city, especially when it's not your language, and especially just like me being the only adult, because a lot of times I rely on Gary, although I did a trip by myself to the States with the girls, with the layover and everything, and in the airport by myself and stuff. I manage, but it feels nice when you kind of get through something that you were a little bit nervous about how you would navigate. Anyways, by the time we got to our hotel, it was about 11:30, but our room wasn't ready. It's not supposed to be ready till 3. Sometimes they're ready early, but it wasn't, so we dropped off our bags. I got a taxi. No, we went and got something to eat. Then I got a taxi because there's an Abercrombie in Brussels, and there's not one at all in Ireland, and I really like their jeans and I really like trying things on. Paid €10 to get a taxi there, and then ended up walking to our next activity. The Abercrombie was small and it wasn't stocked super well, so it was a little bit of a fail, but I'm not bothered. No, the only thing was essentially the waste of going there, but you kind of get to drive through the city and see, so it was really just the €10, but it was nice to see, I suppose, that area. I have to help Kiva get on the Wi-Fi. Is that what you're waiting for? So then we walked to this chocolate museum called Choco Story. And would I recommend it? Would you? Yeah. It's one where, and of course, because there's so many different languages visiting, of course it would have to be structured this way, but you just get a little electronic device and you tap each little number of each little exhibit you're at, and then you put it up to your ear and it speaks to you, depending on what kind of learner you are. Sometimes it doesn't capture my attention that much to listen to it in that way, so it was cool to do. It wasn't, I wouldn't give it like the highest rating. I'd give it like 3.5 out of 5 stars, but that could also just be my problem. So, and we were tired. Yeah, it's really nice when you can check into the hotel first. It's just how it goes. No biggie. And we had been walking around and it's rainy and chilly, but we're still having a good day. It just feels really nice to get in. I'm gonna just put on my pajama pants and we're gonna relax for like an hour or so, pick somewhere to go for dinner. I need to book tomorrow. We're gonna do, I think there's like a museum of illusions or something. That's the one thing I didn't book, but I think we should be okay. It's a Monday. We're Monday through Thursday, so it's a weekday, so it shouldn't be maybe the busiest time. Yeah, and then I'll put it on the screen here. On Wednesday, we are booked and we have 2 tickets to this bubble planet? Not a museum, but like a place. You'll see more in the video, and even whenever I put on the screen there. It looked pretty cool. So we just wanted to have a few things to do, to be booked into, but we never plan up too much of our days because that's just how we operate. I've talked so much, and I don't know if I officially said in this video, I'm just here with Kiva. Gary and Molly, probably right about now, or at least heading to the airport. They're going to Barcelona for the same days as us. They're just leaving later in the day. They'll get back to Dublin on Thursday as well, just later than us. We just thought it'd be fun and interesting to do something like this and get one-on-one time with each kid, and maybe next year we can swap the children, and we're having a good time so far. But I'm gonna go see if Kiva needs my help with getting situated, and I'll take you along on the rest of our trip. You love it, Kiva? Oh, Kiva doesn't want to be in it. We're out on our second day here, and because not many people speak as much English, I don't feel quite as shy doing a little vlogging in the open streets. We're just out. Kiva got a jelly cat, which we can show on the screen here. And we're just doing a little bit of shopping. We had a really late lunch, and our burger was one of the best burgers ever. I don't know, it was the cheese and like the homemade sauce. It's been really rainy, but it's been on and off, so that's good at least. Brought my umbrella. I bought an umbrella. It's not the best one, but been a little bit handy. Anyways, we're just doing a little bit more shopping. Maybe we'll go back to our room. We ordered pizza last night to our room, and I got too much, so we might just do that since we had such a late lunch and our lunch was kind of pricey. So we might just have our leftover pizza in our room. We're really enjoying our time. Oh, there's gonna be a big strike of airline workers in Belgium and Brussels. So our flight got canceled. We were supposed to leave Thursday, but they were scheduled it to Friday night at 9 p.m. I guess we're staying one more day. There's space in our hotel for another night, so that's good. That's where we ate at earlier. I think I'll go for now. Hello again. It's around 8 p.m. or so. Kiva and I are just relaxing. Yeah, Kiva bought a new book today so she can finish the book she brought because she wasn't sure she wanted to. She's a fast reader, and she was maybe gonna try to like pace it out, and so she can have it for the whole time she's here, but we just were able to find, they had some books in English here, which is a really nice option. I'm reading The Art of Living by Thich Nhat Hanh, and so yeah, and I just started that, so I think I might read a little bit of that actually. I was also started listening to an audiobook on the plane called, I'll put it here, I know it's by Brianna Weist. 101 essays to change how you think. And I was really, really enjoying that. I actually would really like to purchase that book because I feel like it's something I'd like to refer back to. And if I had started reading it as opposed to audiobooking, I would have been highlighting as well. I could think of all the things. So earlier today, we went to the Museum of Illusions. I'm not sure how I'll edit this video. Yeah, I've definitely got some content while I was there. So you either saw it or I'll be putting it over here now. It only took about 45 minutes to walk around, but it was definitely worth doing. There was cool illusions. It was relatively on the smaller side, but it was perfect. And we happened to be there at a good time. It wasn't very crowded, so that always helps as well. I would recommend that. Even you could just go with adults, but especially if you have kids. There's some other things I'd like to see in Belgium at another point in time, some other areas. I have a friend that comes here frequently, and she was sharing some where she usually goes, but she's like essentially some family connections, so that's what brings her here. And I know we could like get transportation and go elsewhere, but I guess I suppose I get the tiniest bit intimidated when it's just me and Kiva. I'm fine with everything we've done so far, but fitting in something else, I guess, intimidates me a little bit. So, okay, I'll see you tomorrow. Thursday morning, the day that we would be heading back to Dublin right now. But yeah, we're here an extra almost 2 days if you really think about it. So we are headed into, I'm gonna put the name of the town, city on the screen because I'm not really maybe great at pronunciation. I have a friend that lives in the States. I went to high school with her and she frequents Belgium. Was I saying this? Anyways, so she recommended some other places, areas to visit. So this was one of them, and then it was kind of the closest one. So that's what I chose. It should be no more than a 30-minute, maybe a little bit more, train ride. We're on the train. I get a little nervous about public transport in somewhere that doesn't speak English as their first language, and just figure out where to go and being able to ask people questions, but it seems like we're on the right track. Yeah, we're just gonna go see somewhere different. We'll have some lunch there. We stopped and had delicious cinnamon roll and a delicious coffee on the way to the train station. And yeah, I like pushing myself outside of my comfort zone because I feel really accomplished doing things like this. Just traveling just with Kiva to another country in itself is outside of my comfort zone. Anyways, we'll take you along on the rest of the day. Hello again. It's later in the day. It is 3:30 p.m. We kind of majorly failed with our exploration outside of Brussels. We were trying to go to this city, town, area. Basically, I'm not the best planner, but I've really tried for this trip, and I've definitely done good for myself overall. And it's, it doesn't help. I'm in a new city, a new country, and English is not the language here, although there's definitely a decent bit of encounters where people do speak at least some English, and it's helpful. And I feel so appreciative to people that learn another language because of where you work has tourists or visitors, and then you're helping me, because I always feel so bad when I'm bonjour, or yo, sorry, only English. I just feel like a pain in the ass, but probably how it goes a little bit in touristy places. But I just appreciate the locals that are essentially accommodating to us. Anyways, listen, I googled how, I just put in I know, I'm just gonna sound silly. I put in the name of the city into Google and how to get there, and I was told me to take the train to the nearest train station, which was at least part of the city, but essentially I guess it was like a little bit outside of maybe the main town where we wanted to be. And that's what I didn't look far enough into about what to do once I got off the train. But I think I was just kind of thinking like, I got this, I can wing it. I figured out other things. And for example, when we got into Brussels off the train from the airport, it was easy enough to get to the main part of the city and our hotel and everything. Our hotel's a great location. But that was just not the case in this area. I like got out, I didn't know where to go. Kiva was absolutely freezing. I mean, I was freezing too, but she just seemed like wildly uncomfortable, which rightfully so when you're that cold. I wish we had a hat and gloves, which that sounds so silly now as well. The weather hasn't been the greatest here. I mean, and that's okay, but yeah, quite cold, rainy the first couple of days. And like we still manage, and you walk around and you're outside and you're still gonna do a good bit of walking. You're on a little city break vacation, but you still obviously can only take so much in comparison to if it was that bit nicer. Long story short, it was a decent walk to get to where we needed to go to really enjoy like the main city of this place. Like we kind of walked halfway there. I walked to this museum and I was like, maybe I can just figure things out there. There ended up being a little cafe. I thought we could sit and regroup. I was like, on the way there, I was looking for shops I could maybe buy us a hat or gloves. There wasn't. The cafe was full and they were just like, we're full up for the day. So that didn't pan out. I got really frustrated. I was just in the point of tears, just feeling a little overwhelmed. The only adult, not an English speaking place for the most part. Sometimes people can help and that's really appreciated, but sometimes I feel bad asking. Long story short, there's just lots of frustration going on in my head, and I ended up being like, okay, we're just walking back to the train station and we're just going back. Like I give up, which is really not that big of a deal. We didn't even waste that much time. The main thing was that we wasted the 22 euro round trip ticket essentially, but at least we tried. And I love Big Sean. I just listened to his book, and one of the things he says, I think in the book and definitely in his song, he's like, there's not mistakes in life, man. There's only lessons. It was a learning experience, and it still pushed me outside of my comfort zone and get through it, and you feel better. And once we got back here, we ate, I felt more comfortable, and I even felt a little proud once I got off at the Brussels Central Station. I knew where to get back to the coffee place, back to our hotel. When we were in the train station in the other city though, trying to get back, I was in mild tears because I couldn't figure out like what platform to go to. And it's so hard, even when you know what platform to go to, sometimes you don't know which train is the one you need to get on. Luckily, there is people that work there. Sometimes you can catch one and ask, and that's helpful. And that's how I ended up getting confirmation that we, which train we needed to get on. We accidentally sat in first class, but they weren't too mad at us. They just made us leave. That's it. It just, I felt so down and kind of hard on myself and just frustrated, but the trip's been good overall. I can't let like one part get you down. Although in the midst of my frustrations, I was like, why did I even come here? That's about enough of my rambles, but I just want to share. See, I like sharing the ups and downs because not to complain, because I feel better. And like, I meant what I just said about like, it's just a learning experience. I'm at like a point in my life where I'm like, I really can be like, okay, that was just a learning experience and mean it and be fine. Not just an affirmation that I'm saying and it doesn't set in, like I actually mean it. But I share just because somebody could be watching and be like, oh my gosh, look at her. And look at them taking each kid to another European country and just adventuring. And I'm still really proud of myself. And it was still such a cool, big blessing to be able to do. But I just want to share. It's not always, rainbows and butterflies. There's a little bookstore here and it's really cute. Did I say this yesterday? Kiva's already calling me out. Like, you already said that 3 times. There's a cute bookstore here and they do have English sections. So I picked up The Heaven and Earth Grocery Store by James McBride because I've been saying I need to read a fictional book because I'm always only reading like psychology or self-help books or books to learn. And I feel like my brain has this weird complex. Like if I'm reading, I need to be like learning. Sometimes you have to take a break from it. It gets to be too much and then it's like hard to absorb. With fiction books, you're definitely still learning anyways. That's a silly thing. I'm calling myself out for thinking that way. Obviously with like a historical fiction, you're just, sometimes people need the reminder of what other people go through that don't look like yourself, and especially decades and decades ago. I'm gonna go read some of this because I'm already like, oh, I gotta see what's happening to Chona, and okay, that's enough of my rambles.